Shalom, shalom lekulam. Today we're continuing on with our series in the helpful hey, and we're going to find that hey, which has been, we've seen the feminine possessive, will also show up as the object of the verb, the direct object, and also as the object of a preposition. So we're going to start looking at some object of the verb directly, starting in Bereshit Bet, Genesis 2, Pasuk 15. Genesis 2:15. Vayikach Yahweh Elohim et ha'adam, v'yanichehu b'gan Eden, la'avda u'l'shamra. So Yahweh's putting Adam in the Garden of Eden to work it and to guard it. And we see at the end of la'avda and at the end of u'l'shamra, we see a hey with a dagesh, to work her and to guard her. The her refers to Gan Eden. Gan, which means garden, appears both in the feminine and in the masculine in different places in the scripture, but this is what the verse refers to. In the same chapter, in Pasuk 22, Genesis 2:22, Vayivin Yahweh Elohim et hatzelah asher lakach min ha'adam le'isha v'yaviyeha el ha'adam. So Yahweh has made a woman for Adam out of his rib, and he brings her to the man. So Yaviyeha, we see the Vav, which means and. We're going to learn about that in another lesson. And the imperfect form of to bring. And then there's a hey, no dagesh, but it has the vowel at the end, ha, her. He brought her to the man. It's the direct object. Going over to Bereshit Tet Zion, Genesis 16, Pasuk Sheva, Pasuk Sheva. Genesis 16:7. Vayimtza'a malach Yahweh al ein hamayim bamidbar al ha'ayin baderech shur. So Hagar has run away from Sarah, and she's hiding out by this well. And the malach Yahweh, the angel of Yahweh, finds her. You can see in the first word, v'yimtza'a, the root matzah means to find, and the hey with the dagesh at the end means he found her, he found Hagar. So these are all examples of the hey being the direct object, just attached right to the verb. Now we're going to look at some where it is the object of the preposition. Also in Bereshit Tet Zion, Pasuk Harishon, the first verse of the same chapter, Genesis 16:1. V'sarai eshet Avram lo yalda lo, v'la shivcha mitzrit ushma Hagar. So we see in the form of the possession to her, to Sarah, in that la, the hey has a dagesh in it at the end. To her, to Sarah, what was a handmaiden, an Egyptian handmaiden, and her name is Hagar. And we can see in the word, her name, we see Shema. It has a hey with a dagesh. It's her name. Whose name? Hagar's name. Now we're going over to Bereshit Yud Bet, Perek 15, Genesis 12:15. So this is about Abraham and Sarah having gone down to Egypt and lied about their relationship. And the princes of Pharaoh saw her. This is the personal pronoun her attached to the direct object marker, the aleph tav object marker. And so who did they see? Otah. We see the dagesh and the hey. And they praised her to Pharaoh. Again, whom did they praise? They praised her. Aleph tav with the hey with the dagesh. Let's look at Bereshit Gimel, Pasuk Shesh, Genesis 3:6. ותראה האישה כי טוב העץ למאכל, וכי תאווה הוא לעיניים. ונחמד העץ להשכיל, ותיקח מפריו, ותאכל, ותיתן גם לאישה עמה ויאכל. So this is the fateful verse of Eve eating the fruit and giving it to her husband. So she gives it gam also laisha. That's a possessive hey with a dagesh to her husband ima. This is the preposition im, which means with, and with the personal pronoun for her, with her, we see the dagesh with the hey. Going over to Shoftim. Shoftim is the book of Judges. Shoftim Tetvav, Pasuk Shtayim. We're going to find two prepositions with pronouns attached in this verse. Judges 15, verse 2. Judges 15:2. Vayomer aviha, amor amarti, ki sano saneta, ve'etnena lemrecha, halo achota haktana tova mimena, tehina lecha tachteha. So I see a lot of possessive pronoun for her there. This is a situation where Samson has married a woman and they got all torn up about the riddle, and he goes home afterwards. He's not living with her. And then he decides he's going to go back and visit her, and her father says, well, I really thought that you hated her. So we see this parallel expression, sano, saneta, and it's usually translated like, I thought you really hated her. But both verbs are the same, sano, saneta. But we see at the end of the second one, the hey with the dagesh, that you hated her. Ve'etnena, here's another hey, I gave her to your friend. And then it says, hello, is it not true? Achota. Achot is the sister. This is possessive, the hey with the dagesh, that her sister, Haktana, her younger one, Tova mimena. And this is how they express comparison. They use the what we would consider to be a preposition from. So when from is attached to a pronoun, it's not just the mem, that we'll study later also, but mimeni, mimena. And so mimen with the hey there is her. Tova mimena, that her sister is better than she is. And the father offers her that she should be his wife, tachteha. And this is from the preposition tachat, which can mean under, but it also means in place of. And the hey at the end means in place of her. We see this preposition in the binding of Isaac's story, where it says that the ram was bound instead of Isaac. Tachat uses that preposition. Okay, so we have two prepositions there, from her and also instead of her.